Good Wednesday evening. I hope you're enjoying yourself and I hope that you're relaxing in some sort of way. My name is Pixelated Twix and welcome back to In the Booth. Welcome to Track 3. It has been a long time since I last recorded a In the Booth podcast, so I thought I'd bring it back in a different way. I'm going to do a little bit of reformatting with some things, but today I would like to focus on one specific game. I normally like to touch on like a topic or something that's going on in the gaming industry, but today I would just like to focus on a review. Now, I've done a one and done series. If you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that I do those from time to time, but this time I would like to give you a full-blown review on a game that I've been playing for, I would say, the last year and a half, going on 2 years. That being said, you know that I know a little bit about this game. So enough with the chit-chat, the idle chit-chat. Let's get into this review, shall we? First things first, what is Boundless? Boundless is an open-world sandbox MMO. It is developed by Wonderstruck. It's an indie game and it's very community driven. When I say that, because everything that the community does affects the game. There is nothing in the game that isn't built by the community. Everything is managed by the community, the economy, the cities, the guilds, everything. Before I even get into anything else, I want to discuss the community. The people that play this game are, I want to say, the best people that I've ever played any game with. I've played a lot of MMOs. Most of the time it was WoW. And don't let the forums fool you, because every forum has its issues, but this is a very close-knit group of people. It's small and it's cozy, and people have played with each other since the beginning. They've formed relationships, friendships, bonds that probably are tighter than most of their family members. So, of course, things are going to get a little heated sometimes on the forums and people take things to heart. But honestly, it is an awesome group of people. And I'm glad that I've met a lot of them and I've made some great friends. And I'm very grateful for all of them. And I only say they're very, very, very supportive of me and anyone else who decides to stream, record Boundless games or Boundless videos, okay? That being said, if you are a new player, get to know the other players. They want you to stay. So it's good to actually get out and meet new people. You'll enjoy yourself more instead of trying to play this solo. I find that a lot of people who review Boundless don't do this, and I think that's unfair to the game, honestly. It does start off very slow, I'll say that. But going out and exploring and finding people and speaking to them, talking to them, meeting them, you'll see that your experience is a little different than it would be if you just decide to take this thing solo. And that's why I say that people that review the game, it's pretty unfair when they leave it. Plus, you have to give Boundless a little more than 2 hours. I, at first, did not think that I was going to be playing Boundless a year and a half later. It started off very slow. It did. But that's what progression's all about. You don't want to have everything you need at the beginning of the game. I like that they take the time and give you tutorials to show you how to play the game, how to craft, what you need to do to explore, to set up a portal. And portal systems are very important in the game because it's traveling to different parts of the planet that you're on or into other planets. And so let me just get into the planet system really quickly. So Boundless is set up with a universe of multiple connected planets going from tier 1 to tier 7. Tier 1 is going to be what I call your Care Bear planets, very, very beginner friendly. The life forms that live there won't attack you unless you attack them. And then all the way up to tier 7. Tier 7 is your exoplanets. Exoplanets appear in the sky randomly, and I want to say twice a week. They tend to overlap. Those planets have more rare blocks on them. They're extremely dangerous, very rugged, and I would say only the more experienced players usually venture off, unless you're like me, a pleb that just goes on an exoplanet and like, hey, I'm out here chilling and dying. But if you're brave enough, hey, hit it up. But you have to have the appropriate protections to do so. Boundless has a great community, like I said before, and there are plenty of people who have recorded videos that will help you along your journey to playing Boundless, understanding how the mechanics of the game works outside of just the basic tutorials. So what I will do, if you're interested and have not played Boundless, I will link a couple channels for you to watch so you can get a better idea of the mechanics. You're not going to find that information here. People do not come to my channel for information about Boundless. They do not, because I do not min-max on Boundless. I play, I try to entertain, I explore. I am definitely an explorer. I'm not a builder. I try to be. I play a builder on TV. No, I don't. I can't. Let me stop lying to you now. I'm not much of a builder. I try hard to build, but let me tell you, there are some people in this game that will have you speechless with the amount of talent that they have. People have some hidden talents, or they're professional builders, one or the other, or both. It could be both and at this point. But there are some extremely talented builders, and some of them play Minecraft. Some of them have come over from Minecraft. So I would say that if you play Minecraft now, I think you would really like Boundless. There are some things that Boundless doesn't have that I think needs improving on. So I guess I can get into that later. So what do I like about Boundless? First, I said the community. Community, definitely. The community keeps me coming back to Boundless. Secondly, I love the options for the blocks, period. There's 255 colors in the game alone in just your stones, okay? And that translates over into foliage, to tree trunks, and just about every other single block that you can think of, except for like your metals and your, oh gosh, I can't think of the name of right now, but like Rift and Lucence blocks. Those obviously have specific colors, but everything else has the 255 color palette, including your character. The character customization is lacking, but the options for colors, and if you buy Gleam Club, which is $4.99 a month, you can further customize your character so you don't actually go around looking like everyone else. And that's the one of the great things about Boundless, I should say. You very rarely see some players looking the same, because people get extremely creative with the coloring and all the different decorations or the clothing. There's not a lot of clothing, but there's some that you can add, like little cosmetics and things like that. This is not a pay to win. There are some, like I said, there's some in-app purchases. There's a little exchange store where you can buy ink for your character, like tattoos, and then little other cosmetics that you can buy. And during the holidays, they tend to add additional cosmetics that people purchase. But you can use your coins that you earned from leveling to purchase those items, or if you want to, you can, with real life money, with real world money, purchase that specific currency. The currency in the game that you use to purchase items that players have crafted or mined, those are coins that you've earned in the game. You do not buy coins to make any purchases in malls or people's little marketplaces or stores. And so that's why I said this is a very player-driven economy, which I actually enjoy, because that's one thing that I will say that I did not enjoy about Minecraft, because the honor system can get kind of not so honorable sometimes, and you just have to be able to trust people. With Boundless, people actually have to walk into your store and purchase the item straight from the shop stand, and you don't have to be there. I really like that aspect of Boundless. And the stores that people build are great. I love all the different types of stores. I love seeing what people think up when they build something. I always wonder, like, what were they thinking when they build something? I think that's what I enjoy the most about the game, is running around and seeing what people have built. And you can probably see, like, I'm showing some of my gameplay in the background of people's builds. And if you haven't caught any of my videos, Hidden Gems, by all means, please do explore or watch those videos along with workshops. So let's talk about crafting really quick. So crafting in Boundless is really easy to pick up. I think the only issue that beginner players would probably have is coming across the coils that you need to run the machines, because the more complicated a recipe is, the more power you need to run a machine. And the machines are powered by coils and spark generators. The spark generators use fuel like coal. I would say coal because it's the most abundant on the planets. So your coils actually make the machine craft faster, and the more coils you have, the more power you have for that particular machine, the faster it will craft and the less fuel you'll use. But like I said, coal is easy to come by. Coils, not necessarily. So what I mean by that is you're either going to have to shell out the coins to get your coils, or you're going to have to make those coils yourself. Something I enjoy, but it does take a lot of mats. Sometimes these mats are hard to come by because certain coils require exoplanets. So it's either you are going to be the lazy gamer and go out and buy the materials, or you're going to go out and bust your butt on an exoplanet and get the Umbris or the Rift that you need, or the Blink or whatever, to make a specific type of coil. I've found that it's easier to just go out and farm the mats myself, and there's something satisfying about getting all the mats together and making the items myself rather than buying them, because I've spent a lot of money being the lazy gamer, and I'm starting to learn slowly but surely that it's just easier and less expensive, less taxing on my wallet to go and buy items. And the community is shrinking a little bit, so sometimes it is harder to find things, or it at a decent cost, because supply and demand. So there is that. So honestly, it's a set it and forget it system. I enjoy it. It's very satisfying. It's easy. I can throw in the number of blocks that are required to make a certain thing, and hit the button and run out and do whatever else I need to do, like hunt, mine, or build. So it makes it easy to multitask, and I like that you don't have to stand there and constantly push a button to craft the blocks that you need. So it goes really well with the building system, because you don't need to craft stairs to make stairs. You can craft your block and then use your chisel to make the stairs. Simple. Okay, so let's talk about building because it goes hand in hand with the crafting system. And let me just say that it is another easy to pick up type deal, but it is so hard to master because of the chisels. They can be really, really daunting at first. And it took me a minute to learn how to use the chisels. I'm still learning because there are definitely some finessing that is required to use the chisels. If I can picture something in my head and I think I can do it, and then once I set that block down and start chiseling away, it doesn't necessarily come out the way that I imagined it, but it is a continuous process of learning. And if you have the patience to learn, I guarantee you can make some masterpieces. I've seen it myself. There are some crazy builds out there that, I mean, if chisels did not exist in the game, I don't think that they could be done, seriously. And so the building system in Boundless is awesome. It's amazing. It is top notch. I don't think that many people will disagree with me. There's some improvements that need to be made, yes, but for the most part, the chisels make the building. Also the blocks. The plethora of blocks, the types of blocks, marble, concrete, resin, you can use ice, and you can use glacier, and all the different colors of blocks, woods, foliage. There's so many different types of materials that you can use to create textures. And with the chisels, you have the angles, and then you've got liquids to create lighting against what is called gleam, and gleam is like luxury. Okay, it's lighting that just it's a play on lighting that really pulls out a building sometimes. So I know I got a little excited about gleam, just a little bit excited about gleam. Well, what was even that? I don't know, but if you catch my channel, I do a lot of exploration. I check out a lot of different builds, and everyone has their own style, and some people you just know their style right away, and plenty of builders are like that. And this game just makes it easy to use every single type of block in many different ways. There are blocks that I wouldn't even think to use for items like to create a kitchen, or some people have used it to make, let me see. What have I seen? Like machines, mechs. And I would have never thought to use that particular block for that. But the imaginations of the builders in this game is outstanding. And I commend every last one of them. So the building just keeps people coming back to Boundless. And I'm praying that more people will see what Boundless has to offer in that range and check it out for themselves. Welcome to Side B, where we are going to discuss what is probably the most controversial topic that is on the forums. Okay, maybe not the most controversial. There are plenty of other controversies in Boundless that people tend to bring up, but every game needs improvement. You know, there's no perfect game out there. If you think there is, please let me know in the comments. I'll wait. That's what I thought. Okay, so let's talk about it. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about the improvements that Boundless could use, maybe could implement. I'm not sure about what kind of engine Boundless is using, but I do think that some improvements can be made in the building system. Chisels are fine, perfectly fine for me. I do realize there's some limitations with voxel games. So stacking of blocks, I think, could be improved. I don't know how that would necessarily work with the engine. I've heard that it's not possible in Minecraft as well, because sometimes if you chisel a block down to a slab and you stack, say, a full block on top of it, there leaves a space because the engine is still reading that block you chisel down to a half slab is still a whole block. So that sounds like it's an engines, a systems or engine issue that's possibly not fixable. But that can be annoying, but there's ways around that. And I've seen people do it, finesse the chisels a bit, and they can use that. But I think that we could use more furnishings. We have tables and chairs, and it seems strange that it just kind of stopped there. It would have been nice to have different types of tables, maybe allow you to paint the tablecloth on the table. So these are kind of little things that I think of while I'm building. But I have talked to some of my guildmates, and we all agree that the copper in the game is a little too orange. We feel like it should look more natural and maybe oxidize over time. That's my thought, because I know Minecraft implemented that in their last patch, or their last large patch, and I think that's great. I think that's a cool idea. Maybe some people aren't down for that. Maybe some people like the orange coloring of the copper and don't want it to oxidize, but I would love to at least have the option, and maybe have other types being able to paint some of the metals, because when I picture certain builds, I want the shininess of the metal and the look of the metal, but I want it in different colors. I don't know how hard that it might be to add that, but I would love to have that. Again, a little thing, but it would add so much to our block availability. And I know there's a ton of blocks available now. And yes, I could use a different type of block, but metal is metal. And if I want a metal look, that's what I want. And I would love to have like the ability to at least paint it. Also, I think that the end game is lacking. End game right now is strictly hunting, or whatever your end game might be. If it's running a store, mining, building, that's your end game. But I mean, that's the entire game, right? There's not much of a quest line in the game except for your beginning tutorials. And I think that the game should have more of a reason to continue. Like, we have an end dragon in Minecraft, why can't we have titans? Or add to the cave system, because the caves are lacking. They are interesting, but they are lacking. I explore the caves, but there's no reason for me to explore except for to gather mats. That's it. There aren't any hidden coves of many hidden mine shafts, and you don't necessarily need mine shafts, but these are alien planets, so I don't know, you could maybe add more alien terrain, and I don't know, maybe some, I wouldn't know what you could add, or I guess maybe lost, off the top of my head, I'm thinking like Horizon Zero Dawn, where Aloy would find these hidden rooms of like the old world, and there was technology, and she would go in and she could read the stories of people that used to dwell there. So I think that would be kind of cool, that you would explore caves and come across like these hidden rooms with alien technology of old, or something like that. I don't know, just off the top of my head, that would encourage more exploration, you know, because yes, we all mine, but there also should be more reason to explore, because there's so much to see. Also, do something with the water. There's vast amounts of water on lots of these planets, and there's just no reason to go underwater a lot of times. So I think that that's lacking. They could use that. Some plant life, more plant life, maybe more animal life, some fish. Fishing would be awesome to add into the game. Yeah, as I'm going, I'm thinking of things. I did say something about Titans, and then I wanted to roll into, quest lines. I would love to see quest lines in the game, added lore, just reasons to go out. I know people have made up like quests, fetch quests mostly, like, hey, can you get me this amount of blocks for this or that? And that's great too. But actual quest lines, which would require some story writing, but it does make the game more repeatable, playable, right? Repeatable, playable, either one of those. Both and, okay? It would certainly keep my interest because I do like to have a quest every now and then, even if it was just a once a week thing that popped up here on Monday. Do this thing and have it done by a certain day, right? Or Friday or whatever, by the end of the week. Or make it a guild thing, right? So have your whole guild participate in this particular quest Monday, and then you have to have it turned in by Sunday. So I think it would be cool to involve your entire guild or just solo. So that would be interesting. It would create more reasons to explore your planets, and just keep people coming into the game. Grind fests aren't always that fun. I think World of Warcraft learned that people don't always come back for the grind fest. People want to have a reason to explore your world, and it's great when you give it to them. So I do have a whole list of items. I'm trying to really think off the top of my head what else I would love to see in the game. This by no means is me shaming any of the developers or anything like that. I think you guys have done an amazing job with what you have currently, but there's always room for improvement, and players are always asking for more, especially to create longevity for an MMO. Okay, so real quick before I go, I could mention the fact that the exchange store could use a few more cosmetic items. It would be nice to be able to implement a system where players can add their own inks, ink patterns to the store, or even gear. That's another thing I actually wanted to touch on, so I lied. I lied. I would love to have more clothing items, more armor options in the game. I know they're working on they had been working on a patch where they add shields and swords to the game, but I would love to see armor and just more customization with the character itself. Right now the character customization it's good for what it is. You have 255 colors to choose from, and you can customize just about every part of your character as far as the color is concerned. So you can walk out and see many different characters, and no character look the same, but it would be nice to have further customization or a transmog system where you can add armor on your character or clothing items. So a lot of people complain that we're walking around in loincloths and bikini wear. So I tend to agree. I would like to have some different options. So let me spend those qubits on something else rather than like plots and things like that. So anyways, that is all the improvements that I can really think of off the top of my head. I just want to say overall, I really enjoy Boundless. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here for the year and a half that I've been. And I just want to say thank you to the devs for the hard work they have been doing and just dealing with the overall community as a whole, because I know that we can be very needy at times, but that just means that people care about the game very much and want to see it improved and want to see it stay alive and want to bring more players to the game. Because listen, your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, right? No? Okay. All right. I'll leave that alone. Anyway, so hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I know it's been a long time since I made one. It might be a longer time before I make another one. This takes a lot of hard work, but I do appreciate you guys coming and listening to me ramble. All right, guys. Until next time, I've been Pixelated Twix, and you've been in the booth. Ciao.